Hello. It was the weird stories and the interesting stats and that sort of thing, colorful characters that you see in baseball, that got me interested in baseball when I was a kid. Over the years I've read a lot of books and I've studied a lot about baseball, so I thought it'd be fun to do a channel based on that sort of thing. So here we go. So for the first video I decided to focus a little bit on Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was easily the best player who's ever played baseball. When he was a pitcher, he was the best pitcher in the game. When he was a batter, he was the best batter. Most people are aware of Babe Ruth's Ruthian batting accomplishments, but not everybody realizes the context of how great of a pitcher he was. He spent his early years with the Boston Red Sox and pitched for them. To put things into context, what kind of pitcher Babe Ruth was. Babe Ruth finished his career with 94 wins. Mariano Rivera finished his career with 82 wins. I realize you're comparing a reliever to a starter, but just wanted to show in the context because they had relatively the same amount of innings pitched. Mariano Rivera had pitched 1,283 innings, thereabouts, and Babe Ruth was totaled around 1,221. When you compare the career ERAs, Mariano Rivera finished with 2.21. Babe Ruth's career ERA was 2.28. Over 15 years with the Yankees, Babe Ruth pitched in 5 games. He won all 5. So if you take those away, you got 89 wins for Babe Ruth, and you got 82 for Mariano Rivera. But the interesting thing is it brings Babe Ruth's ERA down to actually 2.19. So his ERA was even better than Mariano Rivera's. Walter Johnson has the second most wins in Major League history with 416. He also has the most shutouts at 110. Something interesting, of course, we all know what kind of hitter Babe Ruth was, and we know we focus on that more usually than the pitching. And George Sisler was also one of the greatest hitters of all time, finishing with over 2,800 hits and a lifetime batting average of 340. The interesting thing about that is in 1916, both George Sisler, who finished his career with 5 wins and 6 losses as he broke into the majors as a pitcher, and Babe Ruth, who of course was a great pitcher with the Boston Red Sox, both faced Walter Johnson on the season, and each of them beat Walter Johnson with complete game shutouts 1-0. On April 16, 1929, the New York Yankees became the first team to permanently wear numbers. The Cleveland Indians experimented with this about a decade before, where they wore numbers on their sleeves. The numbers that they were assigned were in accordance to where they were in the batting order. So the batting lineup that day for the New York Yankees was number 1 in center field, Earl Coombs. Number 2, playing third base, Marc Koenig. Batting third and wearing number 3 was Babe Ruth playing right field. Number 4 was, of course, Lou Gehrig playing first base. Number 5 was Bob Musial playing left field. Number 6 was Tony Lazzari playing second base. Number 7 was Leo the Lip DeRocher playing shortstop. Number 8 was the catcher, Johnny Grabowski. And batting ninth was actually the pitcher, but he was wearing number 14, George Pipgrass. In a 1931 exhibition game, the New York Yankees faced off against the Chattanooga Lookouts. In the game, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig actually struck out against a young 17-year-old pitcher named Vern Jackie Mitchell, who ended up being possibly the very first woman to play professional baseball. Unfortunately, the attitudes of people around her at the time kept Mitchell from making the majors, because within a week, Commissioner Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis decided to void the contract, saying that baseball was too rough for women. The last story that we're throwing at you today is about Babe Ruth and Johnny Sylvester. In 1926, the story started that Babe Ruth had visited young Sylvester in the hospital to wish him well, and had promised him that if he got better, that he'd hit a home run for him in the World Series. During the winter, Johnny Sylvester got better, and his uncle went down to spring training to tell Babe Ruth about how positive his influence was on him, and how he believed that Johnny's getting better actually was attributed to Babe Ruth's visit in the hospital. The Babe was very courteous to Johnny Sylvester's uncle, and said, well, you know, anything I can do always helps, and Johnny's uncle went on his way. Once he was out of sight, Babe Ruth turned to the reporters that were on hand and said, who the hell's Johnny Sylvester? Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, give us a like, and we've got a little spot for previous and next video as well. Subscribe. This is the first video, so I don't know what I'm going to have in the previous spot there yet, but we'll put something down there. In the comments below, tell us if you got any interesting stories, or if you have any takes on any of the stories that we've talked about today. I'd love to hear them because I love talking baseball. In the description below, I'm going to try to highlight where I've gotten all of my references for these stories. Most of them have come from books over the years, and I'm probably going to just list every book that I have, like, just to make sure, because I'm not always sure where I've gotten my stories, but because I'll cross-reference with 2 or 3 of them at the same time, as well as check out things on websites like retrosheet.org, which is an awesome little website. So thank you for watching our video, and hope you click next, and if you don't, have a good day anyway.